Hi, I'm Rebecca Carner. Today's video is the second in a series of 3 videos that I'm doing regarding the vagus nerve. I'm going to start, as I always do, in the Earth Star Chakra, and I'm going to ground the energy body. Everybody just take a nice big deep breath. All right, so I did a slight adjustment. It was a little bit tucked, although not much. But this energy center today is feeling really kind of tight and closed and tired. It's interesting because the facet of the vagus nerve that I wanted to address today is this concept in psychology called the Polyvagal Theory. And I want to be really clear, I am not a psychologist, I am not a trained therapist or social worker, nor do I play one on YouTube. And I have learned a little bit about the Polyvagal Theory, which is a psychological platform for helping patients overcome, integrate, and live in a different way after various forms of trauma. And it's a way that psychologists are currently being able to effectively help people break behavior patterns that they tend to do subconsciously and repetitiously throughout their life, and it's all born of trauma. And so how do we change that, and how do we get to live in a different way? And what I understand about how the vagus nerve plays into this psychological theory is that when someone finds themselves in a situation that is reminiscent, triggering, whatever brings up their weakest link in terms of a past trauma or a historical trauma, that it's the electrical pulses and the messaging from the vagus nerve that punts a person out of being able to think into this survival historical reactive mode. There we go. Around a given trauma. Okay, just saying what we're dealing with today really made this energy center open up and come online. Right, so the Polyvagal Theory. When a person is in a situation that is reminiscent, can you stay present in it? Can you stay grounded? Can you access your higher thinking, logical, curious brain where you could ask questions and see if you could have beneficial input? Or are you punted just directly into this kind of reactive, knee-jerk survival, protection, defense, retribution, who knows what, whatever your jam is around the trauma, and why? And then after the fact, if you did the reactive thing after the fact, you think, well, why didn't I just say this, or why didn't I ask a question? And it's because you can't. And apparently that toggle point, that light switch that goes back and forth between I can think to I'm on autopilot in reactive mode, is the vagus nerve, according to this psychological theory, the Polyvagal Theory. Nice. All right, I want to finish opening up this and really get the energy upflowing through the energy body. Nice. So as we do this work around this light switch function that the vagus nerve seems to have for us, really imagine your diaphragm being bellows that sort of pumps and loosens and lubricates and sort of makes accessible all this energy and all of the higher function of both our central nervous system and in particular our vagal nerve, our vagus nerve. I don't really want to move on because this sounds just really... The tone is open, the sound is coming out of the fork appropriately, but the vibration in my hand isn't signaling to me that the energy is where, that the energy flow is not where we want it to be on working on such a deeply embedded animalistic primal response. I really want the energy body to have full access to all the potential energy as we do this work today. Last week's video, the first of this series of 3, we talked a lot about vagal tone and how to get any information to run along this really long superhighway, that the fibers, that the actual nerve needs to be toned, just like a muscle would need to be toned for it to work properly and effectively. And this is sort of the step after that. Once we get it toned and we work on our vagal tone, then how can we up the conditioning of it, sort of. All right. I'm going to put a weighted fork on a crystal here in the Earth Star chakra to really bring remembered structure and order to the energy body that I'm working on here today. Our vagus nerve, as well as all the functions of our body, came in, we arrived with everything in perfect working order. And through the various demands of life and our culture, etc., sometimes little things get pulled out of whack or get sort of shifted from their original perfect factory setting. And yet, we can always return to the factory setting. We can always reboot. We always have the memory in us, in every part of our system, to what that perfect, original, specific, unique to us patterning was. So even if we've gotten a little far away from it, the molecular memory is always there. And when you send the vibrations and the frequencies through crystal, the crystalline order, the structures that make a crystal as perfect as it does, really mirror the perfection that lies often dormant or forgotten inside of us. And by, with intention, placing the crystal in the field. Okay, wow, yep, woo, all right, I just felt a shift, that's right. It remembers ourselves to ourselves. All right, that felt different. Let's do a little check. There we go. Ah, whoo! So much better. A lot more. The tone is fine, but it's the vibration. I can really feel the updraft is a lot stronger than it had been. All right, now I'm going to come around and do the crown, the Sun Star Chakra, which is just above the physical head. Having the same effect on the top as I did on the bottom, so below as above. I know it's supposed to be so above as below, but we started below the feet, and now this one just above the head, although this one is opening up a little bit more quickly. I'm going to stay with it a little while longer. And again, today's focus, last week's focus was on tone, just getting to know, in case you didn't even know you had a vagus nerve. It was about naming it, and it was about toning it. And today, I'm really offering the intention of conditioning and awareness and agency, reminding everyone that we have full agency and that we can, through practice and noticing and training and awareness, that we can make the call whether we want to think and stay present and grounded through a situation, or whether we want to just go into blind reactivity and follow the same subconscious behavior patterns that we have done for most of our lives. I would really like to speak to the fact, whatever coping skill that you developed, or all of the coping skills that anyone develops to make it through trauma, are beautiful things. They helped you at the time. They are not bad. When you want to not deploy them any longer because they no longer fit the situation, or circumstances in your life has changed and you don't want to act like that anymore, that's why coping skills, quote unquote, become not so good of a thing. But if something has arrived you largely well and alive to this present moment, you did great, okay? So I don't want to poo-poo all over coping skills. They're not a bad thing. There, me honoring that really kind of opened everybody's Sun Star up a little bit. All right, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold a crystal in the field in this energy point. So the point of biofield tuning, frequency tuning, any kind of vibrational sound frequency healing modality, we have to engage the mind so that it can kind of get on board and work with us. But the beauty of waves, of particles, of sound, is that it happens. It happens regardless. You don't have to read an article on Polyvagal Theory for this tuning to work for you. This work happens, and it's really about allowing and receiving and integrating, and then noticing after the fact when a situation comes up. Could I do this a slightly different way? Or I'm noticing this, and what I always do is, and then realizing I don't always have to do that. I could not do that ever again. But you don't have to know, you don't have to see it coming, you don't have to keep checklists. You just have to receive. You just have to hold the intention of receiving these frequencies. You don't have to take notes. There won't be a quiz on this later. It's just all an ever ongoing unfolding, an ongoing set of opportunity. Oh. All right, that really changed. All right, let's do a little check-in. Oh, so much better. Oh, outstanding. Okay. A few nice big deep breaths, just cycle through. Yeah. All right, that really, whew, nice. Okay. So I'm going to be using weighted forks on the energetic sternum. So it's going to look like I'm putting weighted forks on an empty table. Because in effect that's what I'm doing, but I'm working on the collective energy body. And really at the points, so a lot of people are acquainted with the idea of the quote heart chakra, which is ostensibly located here, but there's often considered a low heart, a mid heart, your heart chakra, and then a high heart. Anyway, so it's really around this area that I was called to work largely in vibration. There's something about the nature of the vagus nerve that, in my experience, really appreciates both the audible sound waves as well as placing the vibratory, quote, sound waves directly onto the physical body. And just because I don't have a physical body here doesn't mean, doesn't mean that it's not transmitting to the physical bodies of the people who watch this video, because it absolutely is. And again, with the toning of last week, I'm now adding the additional layer of conditioning and really reminding our mind and heart through the connection of the vagus nerve that we can stay present, we can stay curious, we can stay safe if we stay with the situation rather than flip the light switch and dump into automatic reactivity. We can do it. Any historical situation that informed our want to click over isn't present now, and it doesn't have to keep repeating in our bodies. We can shift that patterning. Really nice. Okay. So back with the toning. So I think I spoke last week about the Ujjayi breath, which is a yoga breathing pranayama. But the other thing is just sighing, an audible sigh. I'm really, on the next several strikes, I'm going to just make really big sigh sounds, because that's another way to kickstart the vagal tone. And as I'm making the as I'm dropping in, I'm really trying to emanate the sound from the place where I'm putting the forks on the energy body. All right, you get extra cosmic points if you're in a tough or triggering situation, and if you're trying to break a pattern, if in front of whomever you're with, you just start going, please DM me and let me know that you did that, and I'll send you a metaphysical gold star, because that, I guarantee you, it would change the situation, and it would change everybody's behavior patterning if you pulled that stunt. That's a great way to mix it up a little. Oh. Whew. Okay, so because I worked on the center of the sternum and the heart chakra, I'm just going to finish this tuning up with a columning up. So it's the tuning that we received today, and as we move forward in the space-time continuum such that we experience it, may this tuning serve us. Whew. And serve our system. May we navigate all the things that are good and all the things that are challenging with a lot more ease and grace. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, that tone. Oh, you guys, this feels beautiful. Wow, it took us a second to get it opened up and going, but that's lovely. Oh, yay. Thanks for playing. Whee! All right, so let's wrap up the energy field. Wow, it is, the energy body is like effervescent. That was a massive shift. Wow, yay. do with the 417 and the 528. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the second of 3 videos focusing on the vagus nerve. We've done toning, now we've done conditioning and how to stay grounded and in the present during a polyvagal moment, hopefully. Anyway, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Visit RebeccaCarner.com for more information, and tune in next week for the 3rd installation in this 3-part series on the vagus nerve. Thanks.